हेलो फ्रेंड्स, गुड इवनिंग, वेलकम, सुस्वागतम। स्वागत है आपका आज के इस 52nd एक्सपर्ट टॉक लाइव सेशन में। आज का हमारे ये 51वां लाइव सेशन है। तो आज के हमारे एक्सपर्ट है चिंतन नायक, विल बी स्पीकिंग ऑन हाउ टू अवॉइड द इमिग्रेशन फ्रॉड। इमिग्रेशन में आजकल बहुत ही फ्रॉड हो रहा है, एंड ही इज वन ऑफ द प्रोमिनेंट person who can be relied upon. So he is one of the expert. So let us welcome him and let us know more from him. Yes, Chintan, welcome.
Thank you very much, Vipul, for
Yeah,
allowing me to speak on this forum. Thank you for inviting me.
yeah, pleasure is our, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And it will be quite helpful. काफ़ी लोगों को इससे हेल्प मिलेगी, बिकॉज दिस इज काफ़ी लोगों को ये फ्रॉड, इमिग्रेशन फ्रॉड की के शिकार हुए हैं. सो दे विल इट विल हेल्प टू सो मैनी, सो थैंक यू सो मच.
Pleasure is all mine. I'll be more than happy if anybody can get any benefit out of this conversation today.
यस, या आई एम श्योर काफ़ी काफ़ी लोगों को हेल्पफुल रहेगा. सो ऑडियंस, प्लीज वेलकम चिंतन एंड डू लाइक एंड शेयर दिस सेशन. यू नेवर नो किसको हेल्पफुल हो जाएगा. तो प्लीज like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel Vipul the Wonderful, and press the bell icon, and do ask the relevant questions. We will be happy to answer them. So do participate and do ask the relevant questions. So Chintan, let us start the session. Please give us your brief introduction. Let us know what you do, how you are doing it, and why you have selected this as a profession, and your milestones, your achievement. And since I know you since college days, but yes, let audience को please अपने बारे में कुछ बताइए. Please, over to you, Chintan.
Sure. Thank you, Vipul. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I am a member of the body which is the Government of Canada's approved body. So basically, uh, I'm running my company, which is Aviate Immigration Services. The company is headquartered in Canada, Toronto, and I have my offices in Ahmedabad and Surat as well. I am a licensed immigration practitioner approved by Government of Canada. So I am helping all types of immigration, applicants to apply for different streams in immigration to Canada, be it students, be it the PR applicants or the business immigration applicants or the work permit applications. So we basically deal into all types of immigration applications, and we are authorized by the Government of Canada, as I said already. I got into this business because when I did my application myself about 1.5 decades ago, I realized that the quality of the service that I received when I did that application was not up to the mark, and I had to, do a lot of work myself. And then I realized that there is a lot of scope of improvement. But of course, because I was originally from banking background, I had to get into a bank initially when I went to Canada, and I started Deviate Immigration about 5 years back from Canada, and then we have helped a number of clients with different types of immigration applications.
या दैट्स अमेजिंग एंड क्वाइट इंस्पायरिंग कि जो चीज़ से आपने सफ़र किया था वो चीज़ किसी और को ना हो, इसलिए यू हैव वेंचर्ड इनटू दिस प्रोफेशंस. तो वेरी novel thought, and you are doing amazing. I know you personally since our college days, so you are doing great job. Keep it up, and way to go, I can say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Preeti, welcome. Thank you for joining in. And yes, audience, please be active. Do ask questions. Do appreciate us, and do participate. Yeah. Good evening. So, Chintan, as the topic is, how to avoid the immigration frauds. So, before that, let us, create the atmosphere. Do let us know about the recent immigration trends. तो ओवरऑल ग्लोबल इमिग्रेशन ट्रेंड्स क्या चल रहे हैं, आप बताएं प्लीज.
See, basically, the immigration trends, when you talk about, Canada has become the hottest destination for people to go to because of simple facts that Canada basically needs people. Its population is less, and to make sure that it grows, it requires people. So they have, basically Canada has very carefully designed its policies around its requirements of the labor force and of the country. So they have designed various streams, such as skilled immigration program, students program, and then temporary resident programs are also built around the requirements of the country. Similarly, there are other programs in other countries as well, such as, you talk about UK or Australia or US. The only thing which stands out, in comparison of the immigration programs around the world, is that Canada has got an option in which you can complete your education, you get your work permit, and you easily transition to PR. So that transitioning from temporary resident to become a permanent resident is much easier in Canada. And when I say much easier, I'll have to give you a specific detail why easier, because for example, if you pursued your education in engineering in Canada, right, and then if you work in an irrelevant field because you didn't find the job in your field, right? And if you worked in a restaurant, you may still qualify for permanent residency. Unlike Australia or any other country where you're required to work in the same field of your education. So Canada has left that option open. And then there are other advantages that Canada offers, such as the security and the quality of life, and the governance is good, and there's no discrimination. That there's less racism, and all those factors make Canada, a destination where people turn to when they think about going outside of the country.
Yeah, very rightly said. So, moving on with the next question,
And
what are the,
I just had a
yeah,
couple of points to add to the recent trends. So when you talk about the recent trends, what's happening in Canada is that initially when Canada started its express entry, I mean, most of the viewers might be aware of the express entry program, which is the skilled based immigration program, in which the skills are assessed, such as your age, education, English, your work experience, and all those factors are placed onto various variables, and then you are assigned a certain score, right? And when you get that, basically the score, what happens is that you get invited for getting a permanent residency. So that invitation is sent based on your ability to get that score. So that express entry has become difficult for people to make it. The reason being, there, when express entry started in 2015, what happened is that since 2015, uh, the students immigration also started in big numbers. Before that, the students did not migrate to Canada in big numbers, but after 2015, big number of students started moving. So express entry has a provision under the federal skilled worker program or the Canadian experience class, that if you have a Canadian education and Canadian work experience, you get more points. So those people who moved after 2015 to Canada, they're getting more points basically for moving to Canada, and having a Canadian education and Canadian experience. So they basically are scoring little higher than people who are applying from outside of Canada. So the permanent residency has been increasingly difficult to attain from outside of Canada. So that is the recent trend that I wanted to talk about. That off late the express entry drove was 500 plus 510. The reason being that uh, to qualify for direct permanent residency, there is only a thin margin for people to apply, such as age has to be like close to 30, 32. They have to have a
right,
master's degree. They have to have IELTS score, which is say 8 or 7 or 9 bands. Then only those small group of people may be qualifying for direct permanent residency.
right, very rightly said. So, we have two live questions from the audience. One is Chintan Shah is asking that, what do you have to say of recent advisory of Indian Foreign Ministry of recent incidents of hate crime? So, what do you have to say on this?
Well, yes, it has happened. A small incident that took place. Thank you, Chintan bhai. Hello. I would like to say hi to you first. So, what happens is that in Canada, there is a small group of people who are extremists and they do these kind of activities that causes trouble to Indians, and that has compelled the ministry to to issue this advisory that they have to be careful when these kind of incidents happen, because there is a small group of people. But since this chat show is not about that, I wouldn't like to drag more onto that. But yeah, it's
Very
just
true.
they have to be careful when they are
So
out
it's
and they
just a precautionary notification, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And I know this is not relevant, but one person is asking Rohit. So if you can help him, like I feel that this is kind of a fraud. But if you can hype, he has got some. He's giving a name of some consultancy from Bhubaneswar. They are asking him for Malaysia job, and after one interview, they've asked him to submit MES tested credentials in 3 4 days. I was unable to do so, though. So they have asked to pay rupees 8,500 for the same. So seems like a scam, but मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है. What do you have to say on this?
Yeah, it looks like a scam only, but I wouldn't have to, get into that because I need more details about that to comment on it,
Yes.
as an expert.
Yes. So Rohit, you can connect with Chintan on his LinkedIn account shown here. Even his WhatsApp number is shown here. So he might be able to guide you if you are giving him all the details. Right, Chintan?
Yes.
Yes. So, yes, let's move on with the next question. What are the actual reasons of immigration frauds?
Yeah, so the immigration frauds, Vipul, take place because when you take an advice from somebody who is not licensed or who doesn't have the authorization from the appropriate government authorities, you are more likely to receive an advice for something which is not possible or something that cannot happen. What happens is especially when I talk about Canada, because I cannot comment about the other countries because every country's got their authorization process. Canada has got a very streamlined authorization process, which every immigration professional has to go through before they are allowed to give immigration advice for a fee. So if somebody is charging a fee for immigration, that person has to be member of a particular body. So it is the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants. That's the name of the body which approves, all the immigration consultants, and there is a rigorous process that we have to go through, such as obtaining an immigration license, obtaining an immigration degree, and then give a competitive exam and a license, and then they are monitored periodically for giving immigration advice. Now, I would like to, mention this very specifically to all the immigration applicants across the world. Those who are interested to come to Canada, is that they have to make sure that they look at, the status of the concerned person before they, decide to, get into an association and pay money. What is happening in India and across many countries is that people are not verifying the status of the person that they are dealing with, and they end up losing their money on the fake promises. People give them the promise that you can give this, this is the pathway, that is the pathway. But understand one thing, Vipul, what I would simplify it as, if you go to a compounder and say that you can do my surgery, the compounder may be able to do the surgery based on his experience, but he's not qualified.
Yes.
He's
And
not authorized to do it.
yes, Chintan, in fact, one of our live audience, Mahendra, is asking that how
Hmm.
to check the government body registered immigration agent. So please, if you can
Brilliant,
show that. Yeah, if you can
brilliant,
show that.
brilliant, brilliant question, Mahendra. Thank you very much for asking this. Let me show it to you. Okay.
Yes.
If you can allow me to share my
Yeah,
screen with
please,
you.
please. Yeah, share your screen. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, okay. I don't know. It says unable to share the screen,
Just
but
a second. Now you can try because my screen was shared, so it might be showing like that. Yeah.
okay, I sent the request.
Uh, No, I
You
have
received
yet
it
not
already.
got it. Mm,
Okay, if you can share your screen, Vipul, I'll show it to you on your screen how to search.
yeah, definitely. Let me show you. Yeah.
Basically, yeah, it's a very
So
simple process. Vipul, if you can share your screen,
yeah. So
perfect. You
here
can
is the
open
yeah.
it. Perfect. Mahendra and everybody who's listening to this show, there is a simple three-step process that you have to do, and you'll be knowing that this person is authorized and trustworthy, right? You just type here on Google that find out if your representative is authorized in Canada. Authorized in Canada. Perfect. And then the first link that you see here, this is Government of Canada's official website. Okay, now you see on top left, Government of Canada, right? And then this is where you'll be able to find out. If you scroll down a little bit, Vipul,
Yeah. Just a second.
yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. You see here, you can check if the person is licensed to represent immigrants or give advice. This is the first link, College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants. Click there, please, for me, Vipul.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, perfect. So what this is English language. You select the English language for the body. This is the council's body. Okay, this is their official page. Now here, if you scroll down a little bit and pause at the note section, a little bit up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So here is the note, Vipul. This is the bold and the bold note. If you can just read aloud for everybody to,
It is an offense punishable by law of someone to provide Canadian immigration advice for a free or other consideration without being licensed by the college or a Canadian Law of Society or the
or the
Chamber
other
de.
body.
Yeah.
Yep, this is the
Yeah.
Quebec body. So basically, what it says is that it is an offense punishable. So if somebody gives you an advice and charges a fee, and if they are not a part of this body, they are actually committing a crime in Canada, right? So people who are giving you an advice on immigration, they have to be licensed by the government of Canada, and you can verify it on the same page. If you can scroll down, there is a registry below.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Here you put my last name Vipul Nayak and first name Chintan on the first name section, and then hit search below, just below. Yeah, search. Yeah, here it is. So you see here, my name is appearing, my license number is appearing, and there is a contact information. If you scroll up, you'll be able to see my company's information. Here it is, Aviate Immigration Services. Etobicoke is my office and Canada. And when you hit contact, after some pause, it will load my personal contact information also. So basically, this is just the three-step process which verifies the identity of the person who's giving you the advice.
Wow. Amazing. That's
Just the three-step. Like we do million clicks on our phones every day, on social media platforms and doing a lot of activity. But before we trust somebody and put our money and trust and life in their hands, we just need to take these three steps to avoid any kind of fraud experiences.
wow. So, yes, guys, I'll also put this link in the description of the session, so you can check this uh, as well. I put the link in the YouTube, so you can check that as well. Uh, yes. So,
Perfect.
link I put the link in the YouTube live chat, so you can see as well how you can check it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, and in fact, one question is by Prashant. Is good evening. Some of the consultant in Ahmedabad offer express entry program in Canada without IELTS. Is it true?
No, Prashant, absolutely not true. For express entry, one of the mandatory requirements is to get CLB 7, which is 6 in each ability to qualify. So, if you do not have a language score, you cannot have an express entry profile. So, it's obviously 100% fake, as I said. It's by one of those
So
ghost consultants. Yeah.
great, great. So the next question is, what type of issues immigrants and students face when immigration advisor is not licensed?
Well, what happens, Vipul, is that these people who are not licensed, they basically open their offices based on the limited knowledge about, immigration programs. Why would they open the offices? Because they know some programs a little bit, maybe a visitor visa application or a student application to some extent, and they start giving the advice. Now they do not have a legal knowledge or the background of how to handle complex situations, and they just give based on the little bit of administrative experience that they might have with some kind of immigration. They start giving advice. Now the issue and the problem that happens is that these people, as you just saw, they cannot officially represent anyone, right? So when they file the application, they file as if the student himself is applying and nobody is helping him. They will say no to the question where it asks, is anybody helping you? They'll say no. Now, when they say no, 100% onus of all the goof up that happens in the application is of the applicant. So if that applicant's application gets rejected or refused or whatever happens on the application, the responsibility lies with the student. The poor student doesn't know anything about what happened on the application, right? So that's the biggest issue that can happen. Now what happens is, if the same student goes to Canada and starts studying the program, suppose everything goes through and they travel, after the completion of the program, they have to apply for the work permit. At that time they will have to have access or to the information that was provided at the original application of study permit. Now if there is a mismatch between the two applications, it can result into not only a refusal of the next application but also a misrepresentation ban of 5 years. That's a very serious situation for the student. Without his fault he can get into a bigger trouble, because immigration keeps record of all your historical applications and everything, right? It's all linked with your identity. So if your old application has an error, it can result into bigger issues for you in future.
Yeah, very true, very rightly said. So, so what steps one must take before hiring an immigration consultant?
Well, the first step that you have to take is, we just saw that you have to verify the identity of the person that you are dealing, right? And secondly, when you are hiring and once you know that this person is licensed, you need to understand about what are the situations that may happen in your application, and how are you going to manage if the application gets refused. So all those information, the I mean, it's a time of online, information availability. Everything is available online, and people are smart enough to at least figure out how to ascertain that the person that they're dealing with is actually knowledgeable and licensed, or they are just, pushing you into something. So basically, first and the foremost important step is for them to verify the identity of the consultant.
True. So, how is the life for students in Canada once they actually move? What challenges they face, and how how you can help them?
Okay. So, see, Vipul, when the students go from here, most of them go after, graduation, or some students even opt to go there after grade 12. When they get their study permits, the first challenge that comes is to meet the conditions of the study permit. Now, the study permit it's not an automatic pass to your next work permit. You have to make sure that you maintain your full-time status in the college. Because if you are not a full-time student, suppose if you take less programs than you have to take to maintain your status as a full-time student, you may end up not being able to get the work permit, and that can be a big issue for the student and his family, because they've spent a whole lot of wealth on sending them abroad and spent money, and then in the end it will be a shock only for the student to realize that he's not eligible to get the work permit. Now, so the students have to make sure that they maintain their full-time status, they clear the programs in the due time, they make sure that they are aware of the study permit conditions and the validity. They have to extend it before time if the study permit is expiring. They have to make sure that they apply for the work permit and do the needful to meet the conditions of the work permit. They have to make sure that when they are working, they need to know what type of duties they are performing, if those duties are meeting the requirements of Canadian experience or not, and if at all they are meeting those requirements, whether the manner in which they receive the payment is going to make sure that they are meeting those requirements of getting the Canadian experience. Because suppose in Canadian experience, if the person is a self-employed person, he doesn't get the due credits, right? So all those points are there for them as a challenge, and they require support at the local level. And the second part of your question, how we can help is basically we have our office in Canada, in Toronto as well, right? So we can talk to the students and help them and handhold them until they require support when they are studying, and after completion of the study, when they get the work permit, they can always get in touch with us and get the information about what they are doing is right, or what they should do in order to make sure that they are meeting those requirements.
Great, great. So, it's been said that study permit applications are being refused offlet from India. So, is that true?
Good question, Vipul. This was there in one of the local newspaper I was reading, Times of India as well. That off late there's been a huge influx of rejection, but we need to understand the overall scenario here. What has happened in Canada is that, as I said, all those factors initially, they are becoming the lucrative reasons for people to get attracted to Canada. The number of applications have increased drastically. Okay, if I tell you the exact numbers, in 2019, about 400,000 students applied and got a Canadian visa for study permits. Now that number is expected to grow more. No, these are only the people who successfully come. The number of people who actually apply is huge. Okay, it's like very huge, and it is increasing day by day. So with the increment of the total applications and the allotment that the government gets to apply for the, I mean, to permit the study permits, obviously the refusals are going to be higher. But that's not the only reason. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is the same, that there is wrong advice being given to the students.
Yeah. So in fact, correlated to this, my next question was that only. What are the reasons behind such refusals, and what precautionary measures you take to address such refusals? If at all.
Brilliant. So what happens is that the reasons for such refusals is that because I've been talking to some students and their parents, and I realize what's happening here. Okay, so what they do, what the local consultants or whoever is the local person is misguiding them. They do is that the students basically, if you want to go to Canada, there are two streams. One is student direct stream, and then those who are not qualifying under the student direct stream, they apply under the non SDS, we call it non student direct stream. So student direct stream basically is for students who meet certain requirements, such as they pay the entire full year's tuition fees, they have IELTS scores of 6 plus in each ability, they have paid the GIC, which takes care of their living expenses in Canada for the first year. All these factors have been decided by the government to give the visa officer an assurance that this student is likely to be taken care of. He's got good language, he's got finances taken care of, and he's fine. So basically, this SDS stream is more likely to get an approval. But what I heard from people is that those students who were even qualifying for SDS, they applied under the non-SDS stream because they were misguided by the locals. Now that is something which made me surprised that uh, if you are qualifying for a stream which is SDS and more likely to get approved, why would you apply under non-SDS? Because somebody told them that, what, I was qualifying and I got non-SDS approval, and then everybody will go and follow them. They won't check whom they are taking the advice from. They won't care about what is right and what is wrong. They will just follow these wrong advices from the unlicensed practitioner, and that's what is causing. What we make sure, on top of that, is that we analyze the data scientifically. We look at the background of the student, and we recommend them the program which enhances their education and helps them make a career in Canada. We carefully select the institution based on the historical approval rate from IRCC of that institution, and recommend them, that institute, so that they're likely to get higher success.
Very rightly said, well said. And uh, one live question from the audience, Mr. Jodhpuri is asking that, sir, which country is best for IT students with study gap of 10 years, either UK or Australia or Canada? Which is the best option?
Well, I'm not aware of the job markets of UK and Australia, obviously, because I reside in Canada and I work for Canada. But to answer your second half of the question, the gap, really, the 10 years gap, there is no restriction of a certain years of gap when you talk about Canada study permits. Okay, we've had our students who had even 40 in their 40s, late 40s, also received approvals for study permits in Canada with the gap of 20 years in their education. So gap really does not matter when it comes to Canada. You can apply for Canada student visa even if you had a gap, and as far as the education is adding value into your career, and it you can justify that the education is actually making your career progress, then you can definitely apply at any age for Canada.
Hope, Mr. Jodhpuri, we have answered your question, and you can definitely connect with Chintan for any help you want later on. Yes, Chintan. So one of the last question, do spouses of the study permit holders get refusals outright? Is that true or myth?
Uh, I will correct that as a myth, Vipul. The spouses of the study permit holders do not get refusals outright, but students, when they get married, right? There are certain things that they need to do, because when the visa officers look at the application for dependent of a student, they look at certain facts that can. The biggest factor that the officer looks at is the genuineness of the relationship, that if the relationship is genuine or not. And now the mistake that the students make is that they get married in a haste, like they just go to the court, get married, get the marriage certificate, and feel like everything's fine. Now visa officers will have enough suspect they will suspect, obviously, a situation like this when the marriage has taken place without a longer history of the relationship, and they do not have the supporting evidence to prove the relationship, right? But it's 100% myth to say that all the study permit holder spouses get refusal, because we've been helping a lot of spouses, and the results have been coming in about a month or so off late, and we've had so far a very high success rate in the spousal applications. So it's a myth, definitely, but yes, you will have to make sure that you justify your case very strongly with supporting evidence to get an approval.
Very rightly said. Yeah. Mr. Jodhpur is appreciating. Thank you
Thank you.
for giving your opinion. Yeah, you're welcome. And yes, Chintan, so that was amazing. And now moving on to one interesting, session of our live show, rapid fire round. So, which is your favorite destination in Canada?
Oh, the favorite destination is in Canada. It's Calgary, of course. The Calgary is the most beautiful place in Canada. So yeah, that's my favorite place.
Wow, wow, great, great. Yes. Final words for our audience. Your motivational mantra, your advice to our audience. One final advice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Before that, Mr. Jodhpuri is having one more question. Yeah, you can ask. Session is about to close, but yeah, you can quickly ask one question if you have, Mr. Jodhpuri. Yeah. So yeah, before that, please give your final words. Your message, your advice to our audience.
yeah. The final word to everyone is that when you move to Canada, right? Anybody who's watching this and up to this point in the show is definitely interested in moving to Canada. So I would say when you're moving to Canada, don't expect Canada to be a red carpet for you. Like you will have to put your foot down and struggle. You will have your fair share of struggle. Even I had when I moved initially. for the first 1 year or so, I had my phases when I felt like I had a wonderful life initially. But Canada, you'll have to spend a few years, like at least a couple of years, in your initial struggle in settling down with the new culture and the new environment and the way the systems work. But once you are settled in Canada, it's the most beautiful country in the world. I can say that with confidence.
Great, great. Yeah, so that was amazing, Chintan, for your valuable guidance. Your, and audience, you can definitely get in touch with Chintan. Here are his Facebook account, Insta account. This is LinkedIn. This is the official website, and this is the direct WhatsApp number. So you can get in touch with Chintan for any help. And
I'll be more than happy to help you.
yes, yes, yeah. Thank you, Chintan, for joining in, and uh, we wish you all the best for your this venture. You are doing amazing, and we are sure you there is a way to go. And wishing you all the best. Stay blessed,
Thank you very much, Vipul.
and hope to see you again on our platform with some different topic. Yeah,
Sure, sure. I'll be more than happy to join and help people. Thank you,
yeah.
Vipul. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Stay blessed. Yeah. Yes, audience, Mr. Jodhpuri, I'm sorry, but session has closed, so you can get in touch with Chintan. He would definitely help you. This is his direct WhatsApp number, so you can connect with him. He will definitely help you. Or even if you have a question, I'll make sure कि जो आपका ये question है ये I'll put that in the you can put that in the comment. So I'll make sure कि Chintan will answer this question in the comment of the YouTube session. So you can visit our YouTube video after half an hour, and I'll ask Chintan to answer that query. So visit our YouTube channel, Vipul the Wonderful, and watch the video comments there. You will get the answer. यस सो ऑडियंस हम ऐसे ही एक्सपर्ट टॉक लाइव सेशंस एवरी फ्राइडे सैटरडे या संडे को करते हैं सो डू ट्यून इन डू सब्सक्राइब आवर यूट्यूब चैनल विपुल द वंडरफुल प्रेस द बेल आइकॉन टू गेट आवर रेगुलर अपडेट्स अगर आप लिंक्डइन पे देख रहे हैं तो आप लिंक्डइन पे भी हमें फॉलो कर सकते हैं यू विल गेट आवर रेगुलर career related job related updates there yeah so thank you so much yeah thank you Vipul Kumar for the appreciation. And yes, thank you, audience. This session was powered by Post Resume HR Consultancy. We do provide recruitment services across India, Africa, and Gulf since 2007. So if you're looking for any career guidance, any job assistance, then do connect with us. We'll be happy to help you. If you are a corporate and looking for talent solution for your organization, then also connect with us. We'll be happy to help you with best of the talent solution. And the surprise quiz of the day is uh, in the rapid fire round we have asked Chintan which is his favorite destination in Canada. So I'll put that question right after this session in the comment. So give answer to that question and win the surprise gift from us. So do stay tuned in. Thank you so much. Take care. Stay blessed. Bye bye.